This is NHL Wraparound Short Shifts, the Friday edition for October 18th, 2024. Vic Morren along with you. Neil Smith is traveling today. And kick things off, reminding everybody that there are only 3 teams heading into the second weekend of the regular season with perfect records. Over in the East, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and in the West, the Calgary Flames and the Winnipeg Jets. The flip side to that story, 2 clubs without a point yet. Believe it or not, one is the Colorado Avalanche and the other, the Nashville Predators. Let's quickly acknowledge 2 milestones that took place on Wednesday evening. Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. Crosby becoming the 10th player in league history to reach 1,600 points, and Malkin, the 48th player to reach the 500-goal plateau. And those milestones came at the expense of the Buffalo Sabres, one of 2 clubs that I think you could look at and say that they are really in trouble in the early going. The other team being the Detroit Red Wings. First, the Sabres. They played in Pittsburgh Wednesday evening, as mentioned. They're leading in the last minute of regulation, get tied, lose the game in overtime. They head over to Columbus to play on Thursday, lose in regulation to the Blue Jackets. For the Red Wings, back-to-back losses to the New York Rangers on Monday and Thursday evening, and probably the most disappointing part of watching Detroit play was a real lack of fire. When they were down 5-1 in the third period, there was no purpose. There was just a lot missing from what you would expect a team that would want to show something to be able to build off of for their next game. When you take a look at these 2 clubs, it's been 21 combined seasons since they last made the Stanley Cup playoffs. So if you do the math here, Neil and I looked at, we made our playoff predictions during our preview show, and we identified 7 teams from the East that we believe are pretty certain to get in. In the Metro, Rangers, Devils, Hurricanes. And over in the Atlantic Division, the usual suspects, the Panthers, Lightning, Bruins, and Maple Leafs. So if you do the math, 1 spot available for 9 clubs. And this is not the start that either the Sabres or the Red Wings wanted. And they're going to have to do some catching up pretty early on. So big weekend for them coming up to see if they could start to get a little bit of traction and get themselves out of a hole that they've already dug for themselves. Moving along, last night, a big evening for backup goaltenders around the NHL. We have 3 positives, 1 negative. So we're going to start in Florida, where the Vancouver Canucks won in overtime against the Panthers. Kevin Lankinen getting the starting goal, made 26 saves. JT Miller, the overtime winner. The Edmonton Oilers were in Nashville to take on the winless Predators. Calvin Pickard got the start over Stu Skinner. He makes 25 saves. Connor McDavid gets his first goal of the season, scores late in the second period to put the Oilers ahead to stay. So overall, the Canucks and Oilers getting out on the road seem to have played both really disciplined games. Particularly, I love the way the Oilers shut the Predators down in the third period. So those 2 teams appear to be getting themselves on track. Over in St. Louis, the Blues with a 1-0 win over the New York Islanders. The story there, Joel Hofer, 34 saves, but not only that, he had the opening sequence to the game-winning goal in overtime. He received a pass back in his crease from Pavel Buchnevich, got the puck up the boards, nice little bag pass to Philip Broberg, the not the free agent, but the offer sheet signee. He moved the puck ahead to Jake Neighbors, who scored on Ilya Sorokin. And for the New York Islanders, second time in 4 games that they have been shut out. I think we believe that they were going to be hard-pressed to score goals during the course of the season. They were shut out last night, as mentioned, and were shut out earlier by the Dallas Stars. So Islanders still looking to get on track offensively. Now, the negative, Ivan Fedotov starting in goal for Philadelphia in Seattle on Thursday evening, let in a couple of really leaky goals between his pads from long range. And this is an area that the Flyers have had concerns about heading into the season. Is Sam Ersson going to be the guy that they can ride the entire year, or are they going to have to go out and get a goaltender? And Fedotov didn't do anything last night to secure his spot as the backup. So that is going to be a real wait-and-see situation in Philadelphia, but I'm not certain how long the Flyers can wait until they're going to have to pull the trigger and make a move to get another goaltender. Games that we're looking ahead to this weekend. Friday, Colorado hosting Anaheim. This is going to be a desperate Colorado team. I believe that they did play better in the second half of the game against the Boston Bruins. I look for them to get into the win column this evening. And on Saturday, 3 games jump off the sheet for me. The Rangers and Toronto, high-octane offensive, 2 really good teams going at it up in Canada. And the other 2 games, Detroit at Nashville. We have already mentioned the woes of both clubs. Both need a win really badly. For the Predators, they did get Jonathan Marchessault on the scoreboard last night, but Steven Stamkos, 4 games, no points thus far. The other game I'm looking at, the 4-0-0 Calgary Flames in Seattle, taking on a good Kraken club. We'll see if the Flames can make it 5-0. That'll do it for NHL Wraparound Short Shifts. Neil will be back on Monday, and we look forward to seeing you then.